Today we got some great tips for you about how to deal with stress and anxiety by being creative. So stick around, we're getting through this together. And if you make it to the end of the show, you'll get to see how this little creative adventure turns out. Let's get this thing started. Did you know that we have 60,000 thoughts a day, according to the Cleveland Clinic at least, and 95% of those thoughts are the same thing all the time. And if you're like me, a lot of those thoughts are anxious right now. We go to the store and the shelves are bare. We see people in masks. We're worried about how we're going to provide for our family, our jobs, our health. We need to do something to get our mind off of all this stress. Now, last week we advised get outside, do something fun and active, and as you can see, it is kind of a miserable day today. It's rainy and nasty. So today we got some ideas for what you can do inside to reduce the level of stress and anxiety in your life. And we're gonna go inside right now because Jess has our first idea. All right, so Jess, you have an idea for us today, huh?
Yeah, I found that being creative is a great way to relieve stress and anxiety, and an easy way to do that for me is by coloring. And I have bought these little scripture cards, and they're cards to color and share. And so I'm just going to color them, and then I'll hopefully send them out to other people to encourage them as well.
And that's the topic for today's episode is creativity and how it can bring some peace into your life. And it's a lot of fun too. Now, if you're not into old school coloring like Jess, check out this. So creativity, that's what our show is about today and why it's so important in stressful times like this. Maybe coloring's not your thing though, even VR coloring, that's okay. There's a ton of ways to be creative. Check this list out: gardening, pottery, painting, drawing, writing, making music, acting, dancing, cooking, cake decorating, photography, knitting, poetry, sewing, constructing something, or yes, even coloring. Now that's quite a list, and I think there's got to be something on there that sparks your interest, even if you're not good at it yet, something you think would be fun and interesting. Well, I want to make the case to you today that it's important today and every day to set aside some time to do something creative, and I think there's two reasons why. First, I just believe that's the way God made us, that's part of what it means to be a human being. We're created in the image of God, and God himself is a creator. And when he created this world, he kind of handed the keys to us and said, have at it, create culture, create art, bring out the goodness in this world that I've made for you. And then second, I think science has just proven that there are numerous ways that creativity benefits our body. It reduces the amount of cortisol and just floods the brain with dopamine, this feel-good chemical. And it's not hard to imagine why. Think about some of these creative activities, even something as simple as knitting or coloring. It requires this repetitive motion and this mindset, this focus that almost puts the brain in like a meditative state and, kind of breaks that cycle of worrying about what's going on in the world. In this way, it just brings a sense of calm to us and helps regulate our strong emotions. And maybe even more so in writing and poetry and songwriting. journaling. These kind of verbal exercises in creativity allow us to process what's difficult in life and look forward with a sense of positivity. All in all, science has shown that many creative acts can help us sleep better, can help us be more focused and positive, and can even sometimes help the immune system function better. So for all these reasons and a lot more, I hope you will take time today and every day to do something creative. Now, even if you're not a professional artist, because not many of us are, right? And I know what you're saying, like, I'm just not good at any of those things. Well, that's okay. The point is not doing it perfectly or creating this beautiful work of art that's going to sell for $100 or $1,000, but it's just to have fun and to enjoy the process. And that's what today's interview is all about. I want you to meet Leslie Hanner. All right, so we're excited to be joined by Leslie Hanner. A lot of the art around the church comes from her, and she's done Jim's painting parties that have been a lot of fun. First of all, how are you holding up through all this?
Well, now that I'm a full-time homeschooler for 3 kids, I'm trying to stay sane like everybody else, and my day looks a lot different, so trying to find time for my own art is a little bit challenging right now, but I'm doing my best.
Yeah, we're encouraging people on this new show to do things that are good for their mental health. Mm-hmm. And I think artistic expression is really good. Obviously, it brings you a lot of joy because it's a big part of your life. Maybe talk about how it's improved your life.
Okay, yeah. I mean, definitely. I've been artistic my entire life. I can remember drawing since I was a little kid, and, all through school, I was an art major for a long time until I changed my major to business. And then I realized there was something missing. So my children, once I had kids, it kind of rekindled that creative spirit. And so that's where that started. So about, 10 years ago, I started getting back into drawing and doodling and painting. And then about 5-6 years ago, I started the Capture the Art company where I teach painting parties, and that's where you've seen me at church.
So a lot of folks watching may think, hey, I'm not a professional artist. I can't really do this. I'll feel even worse about myself because I'm so bad at it. What do you say to people like that?
Well, I've come across some people, the majority of the people that are in my painting parties, and they're very beginners, and they're nervous, they're scared, but I always tell them just to breathe and have a good time. It's just the experience. But in a large setting, that sometimes can be a lot of pressure to produce something beautiful at the end. So what we could talk about here is we're all at home now. So art expression doesn't have to be shown to anybody. So a real good way for stress relieving is just maybe have like an art journal or a sketchbook that you don't have to show to anybody. So you can just enjoy the process. So you really could take the pressure off of it and just get into it and use whatever you have around the house and just start doodling. You never know. Maybe you didn't know you could draw. If you didn't try, you never know. So at least attempt it, and then don't get that pressure on yourself for having a masterpiece at the end. Just enjoy the process of it.
And if people are looking for some guidance on how to get started, what do you recommend? Like, is there online education anywhere or?
Oh, yeah, for sure. There are tons of resources on YouTube, for sure. There's a lot of great artists on there doing classes. I have a few of my own videos on my watercolors, but it's not super detailed, but you can definitely see the process of it. But even art therapy is just enjoying art in general. So if you watch somebody even do it, they say that can actually be beneficial.
And before we let you go, being Facebook friends, my wife and I have really enjoyed seeing your kids' creativity. You must have rubbed off on them a little bit. The things that Vincent has done with cardboard boxes has been pretty outstanding. What are your kids up to?
Yeah, my house is always covered in duct tape. Really is the number one thing that we have here. He has his own stash of duct tape. But yeah, I was going to say for creativity, just look at your kids. If you have kids, look at them, because they will just take, a box, some paper, whatever, and create something out of it and take their lead, really, and just start doing whatever. Take some crayons, some markers, a pen, and just start trying to be creative. And really what I think of as creativity is just thinking, hey, how can I make this different or make it better or make it completely, unrecognizable? So, that's where abstract art came from. They just totally take a a cup and changed it. So that's what kids do. And they're fearless at it. I mean, a lot of kids, they just go for it. So my kids, yeah, they are always painting, coloring, cutting. Most kids are, I think. So get a box. If you don't have kids, just get a box and start cutting, see what happens.
That's great. Well, thanks for your time and thanks for your advice. God bless. And thanks for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks again, Leslie, for the pro tips, and I'm going to put one of them into practice right now. This weekend, I wanted to learn something new and just be creative without all the pressure of having to put something great out. And so I just put out some feelers on Instagram, and I asked my followers, hey, give me the craziest idea for a song that you can come up with. So there's no pressure. And this one was the winner. Write a song about there being too many cucumbers on your salad. Well, I picked that one because I agree, cucumbers have no place on a salad. And you know what? I thought it'd be a fun idea for a song. Now, of course, the genre is obviously rap. So we're gonna start with the beat. And here's what I did. I used this brand new piece of software that I've been wanting to learn anyway called Beatmap. And basically you just move your cursor across this map to find interesting beats. And you adjust these parameters. All right, I like that drum groove, so now I'm going to add a bass line. This is an 808 bass, also something I've never done before. All right, now let's add in some more stuff. Here's a little synth part. Some vocals. Channel my thoughts on cucumbers. Turn my mic up. Yeah, that's it. I made this ill beat and spit these nasty rhymes, all because it's dinner time. Got that big gulp, a cherry cola, got them bacon bits with some gorgonzola. Got my leafy greens, you know what I mean. Add some shredded cheese, Italian dressing please. Yeah, I gotta dance, be a high stepper, cause you know I got that fresh ground pepper. Don't wait till later, don't be a hater. Got me revving up, the Chevy carburetor. Looks so good, shakes me to my core. I'm like,
come on, don't be shy, put some more.
Salad for dinner, yeah. We're having salad for dinner. Salad for dinner, yeah. We're having salad for dinner. What's that green thing in your hand? And what do you have planned? Get that out of here, I don't want that near. Stirring up some fear, about to shed a tear. I ain't feeling it, and I don't wanna taste. So get that nasty thing out my face. This ain't real food, why you trying to play? Save your cucumber for another day. I'm spitting nasty bars about some nasty food. I got a real nasty attitude. This ain't no trick, this ain't no treat. So get up out y'all seat, get on y'all feet and sing. Salad for dinner, yeah. Cucumbers don't belong on salad. Salad for dinner. Cucumbers don't belong on salad. Salad for dinner. Cucumbers don't belong on salad. Salad for dinner. Cucumbers don't belong on salad. Yeah, cucumbers don't have any place in salad. I'm just being real, man. All right, well, that's all the time we have for this week's show. I hope you're doing something creative. I hope it helps you with anxiety and stress in your life and just is fun. And so go do something, post below in the comments what you do to be creative. And you know what? I gotta run because I have an appointment with my new barber myself. So wish me luck. See you next week.
Looks like my uncle.
salad for dinner, yeah.